Good day! Ngayon ay part 2 ng Laws of Exponents kung saan pag-uusapan natin itong Laws of Exponents na to. A raised to 1 equals A raised to 0 equals 1, and 1 over A raised to M is equal to A raised to negative M. Simulan na natin. Unahin na natin, A raised to 1 equals A. Bago yan, let's have a recap. At ito yun, A raised to M over A raised to N equals A raised to M minus N. So, let's have it here. And since we are using this, alam natin na M minus N ay equal sa 1. No? Kasi gagamitin natin tong property na to para ma-solve to. So, we have an equation now na M minus N ay equal sa 1. And there are lots of numbers, infinite numbers na makakapag-satisfy sa equation na to. Just to name a few, 5 minus 4, 3 minus 2, could be 6 minus 5, 7 minus 6, could be 100 minus 99, and it will satisfy this equation. Pero kuha tayo ng simple lang, let's say 5 and 4. So, ang 5 ko ay M at ang 4 ko ay N. And I will solve this in two ways. Expanded. So, unahin natin kung paano ko siya isosolve sa expanded. So, ang M ko ay 5 at ang N ko ay 4. So, let's have A raised to 5 over A raised to 4. Sa expanded, i-expand ko lang yung parehong numerator at denominator. So, A times A times A times A times A over sa denominator naman, we have A times A times A times A. Ang ginagawa natin dito, kinakancel natin yung common factor sa numerator at denominator. Common, 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 common. May natirang isa. So, A raised to 5 over A raised to 4 is equal to A. Ngayon, isosolve ko to parehong problem sa ibang paraan. So, kung ano mang makuha ko rito, it should be equal sa kung ano makukuha ko sa expanded. So, yung pangalawang method na yon ay laws of exponent. Using laws of exponent, solving A raised to 5 over A raised to 4, ima-minus natin. A raised to 5 minus 4. It is equal to A raised to 1. Therefore, A raised to 5 over A raised to 4 equals A raised to 1. We use different methods, pero dapat pa-equal lang yung sagot nila. And we have here A raised to 5 over A raised to 4, and this is actually equal to A raised to 5 over A raised to 4. Magkaiba lang ng paraan, pero equal ang magiging result niya. Pero dito sa expanded, ang nakuha natin ay simply A, and sa kabila naman ay A raised to 1. Since wala naman tayong nilabag na ibang law sa mathematics, and nag-comply naman tayo sa lahat, tama naman ang process natin, so we can say na A alone is equal to A raised to 1. Next, we have A raised to 0 equals 1. We have our recap here na A raised to M over A raised to N is equal to A raised to M minus N. So, paano natin ipapakita? Let's use this. A raised to M, A raised to N is equal to A raised to M minus N. Pero notice na gagamitin natin tong law of exponent na to para i-prove itong A raised to 0 equals 1. So, we need to show that M minus N here is equal to 0. So, gawa tayo ng equation na M minus N is equal to 0. Transposing N sa kabila, we have M, since negative yung N, positive siya pag nilipat. So, we have M is equal to N. If we have M equal sa N, meaning na itong expression na to ay pwede nating i-rewrite. So, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite from, okay, from A raised to M over A raised to N papunta sa A raised to M over, notice na m is equal to n. So, yung n dito, pwede mo siyang palitan ng m since ang n mo ay equal na sa m. So, pag pinalitan natin siya, pag nire-write natin, this will also become a raised to m. So, we have a new expression na a raised to m over a raised to n. And take note, if numerator is equal to the denominator, then the result will always be equal to 1. Halimbawa, 2 divided by 2, yan ay equal sa 1. 3 divided by 3, this is also equal sa 1. Another is 100 divided by 100, this is also equal sa 1. So, cleared na. Alam na natin na meron tayong ganito. So, this expression here na a raised to m over a raised to m, since pareho sila ng numerator at denominator, we can consider this equal to 1. So, equal na siya sa 1. Next, let's solve this a raised to m over a raised to m using laws of exponent. By using the law of exponent, a raised to m over a raised to m, gamit nitong recap na to, gamit nito, we have a raised to m minus m. And we know that a number subtracted by itself is 0. Therefore, a raised to m minus m is equal to 0. A raised to m minus m is equal to a raised to 0. Ngayon, we have two similar expression na a raised to m over a raised to m. And this is equal sa sinolve natin gamit ng laws of exponent na a raised to m over a raised to m. Pareho sila. Magkaiba lang tayo kumbaga ng way kung paano natin kinuha yung sagot niya. And sa sagot natin kanina sa dilaw, itong dilaw na part, this is equal sa 1. And this here, itong green part, this is equal sa a raised to 0. Since wala naman tayong violate na laws of mathematics dito, and wala naman tayong nakikitang ibang mali, so this here is true. Lastly, we have 1 over a raised to m equals a raised to negative m. Kanina, na-prove na natin na 1 is equal to a raised to 0. So, substitute natin yung 1 gamit ng a raised to 0. So, we can rewrite this expression here as a raised to 0 over a raised to m. Using subtracting exponents na a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n, using this pattern, we can simplify this expression as a raised to 0 minus m. And 0 minus m is equal to negative m. So, we will have this expression na a raised to negative m. Therefore, 1 over a raised to m is equal to a raised to 0 over a raised to m, which is equal to a raised to negative m.